Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my channel Update Mathematics. And this is the series of videos on National Book Foundation Curriculum Class 9. And the topic today we are going to cover is the history of numbers, which is the first topic in Unit 1 of this book, Real Numbers. The history of numbers starts with the development of natural numbers, which goes back to the ancient time, 30,000 BC. Man used to count sheep or goats by using his fingers or tally marks. He used to draw the tally marks on on cave walls, on stones, on bones. Later on, man started to different civilizations started to symbolize the numbers, natural numbers. And in earlier scriptures, we saw the Egyptian civilization, 3500 to 3000 BC. The symbols were used to draw the natural numbers. Similarly, Sumerians in 5000 BC, they used to write symbols for natural numbers. Also, Babylonians, which were descendants of Sumerians, in 2000 BC, they also used symbols used by Sumerians to draw the natural numbers. And also, they knew about the concept of nothingness, that is zero in today's world. Moreover, they used a decimal. They used a number system, which is called the sexagesimal number system, which is base 60 number system. Natural numbers were later on developed and used by Greek in 5 BC, then Mayans and Romans in 100 AD also used symbols for natural numbers. These symbols are very common in today's world also. We used Roman numerals. For example, one is denoted by I. The Roman numeral V denotes 5. Roman numeral X denotes 10, and so on. Then later on, there was the modern number numerals, which are which we use these days, are Hindu and Arabic numerals, which were developed by Indians and Arab mathematicians in 628 AD. Indian mathematician Brahmagupta in 628, he first described the natural numbers and gave symbols to them. And along with it, he also discovered a very important number, which was called zero later on. He actually knew the concept of nothingness as early as like Sumerians and Babylonians, but he also gave rules for addition, multiplication, and using this number zero in his writings. In parallel, an Arab mathematician, Abu Muhammad Musa al-Khwarizmi, he kept on describing the number systems used by Brahmagupta, and he wrote a book in which the title of the book was The Use of Hindu Numerals. He used the digits 0 to 9 to represent the nowadays used decimal number system 0 to 9. The number 0, which was invented by Brahmagupta, he called it Sifr. Later on, when the decimal number system was introduced to Europe by an Italian mathematician, Fibonacci, in 1202, and he wrote a book about various applications of these numbers, positive numbers. Also, he called Zafiro to be Sifr, which later on become zero. So just like positive numbers and zero, negative numbers were also used in quite earlier by Chinese mathematicians in 200 BC. They used these numbers to describe debt and loss. Brahmagupta and Arab mathematicians described rules of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division after the invention of the integers. So positive, negative, and zero, all these numbers were at that time were used by Indians and Arab mathematicians. Then there is another type of numbers called rational numbers, which are basically they are called rational numbers because they are ratios of integers. So fractions were known to Babylonians in their sexagesimal system, but their representation was unclear because they did not know how to represent these fractions, how to symbolize these fractions. Later on, Greek mathematician and philosopher Pythagoras and Euclid extensively used ratios in their geometric calculations. Another type of numbers, which we call today, is called irrational numbers. These numbers, which are, of course, by name, they represent the numbers which are not rational, are called irrational numbers. Pythagoras' follower, Hippasus, discovered a strange number when he was computing the hypotenuse of a right triangle with two equal sides of 1 unit each. Of course, we know that this hypotenuse is square root 2. In today's world, we know that this number is an irrational number because it is a non-terminating and non-recurring decimal fraction. These numbers cannot be written as fractions, so that is why they were unreasonable, they were nonsense and called strange by those era scientists, and they were not accepted also at that time. unreason because of their unreasonability, and because of they were not reasonable. That is why they were called irrational, right? So that's why these are called irrational. Then, since these irrational numbers were not accepted by Europeans until 16th century, in 16th century, Europeans accepted the solutions of quadratic equations as irrational. And in 1858, Richard Dedekind worked to define the real numbers, which is the union of rational and irrational numbers. So for this video, this was just an introduction about the history of numbers. Later on, I'll describe what are the real numbers, what is the definition, and then how to represent the real numbers on number line, as well as some properties of real numbers and their equalities and inequalities. So for this video, I would like to say thank you for watching, and keep watching for my next videos. Thank you.